like you're gaining weight, right? So you are going to be gaining fat, and that is something that you guys have to also be comfortable with and not worry about. So your stomach is not going to be all flat. Greetings everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Isoken. I also go by Iso for short. Make sure you subscribe, and we're just gonna go right into it. Y'all, I know it's been such a long time. Like, your girl even got a new haircut. Like, how we feeling her? You know, Babiana. It's Bob season. The weather's getting nicer. Had to do a little switch up, but you know what? We are back. We are so back. I'm gonna make sure that I am back on my weekly uploads for y'all, so stay tuned for all of that. But yeah, life just has been lifing. Your girl has been very busy. I got some exciting things for y'all coming soon, so stay tuned for everything. We are back, y'all. Let's just hop right into it, okay? So for today's video, I figured I should just tell you guys about my full transformation journey and how I got from this to this. It's been a journey. I have gained over 50 pounds now. Hold on for a second. Yes, I gained over 50 pounds, but it's been practically over a decade now. I've been in this fitness journey for a very long time. I would say going on 8 years now, about that. I would say the first like few years, I honestly didn't really know what I was doing. I was just following whatever I see. I used to go to Planet Fitness and I would just like work out with these trainers there and just do whatever they told me, but I didn't really have a true focus or true goal until about, I'll say 2 years in, where I really started to get acclimated into my fitness journey. So let's say 6 to 7 years we've been at it. Yeah, it's been a journey, so let's talk about it, shall we? I grew up naturally slim my entire life. Started at around about 120 pounds when I first got into my fitness journey, and now I'm weighing around 175. So yeah, we've put on a lot of weight since then. My goal has always been to put on more size and more weight in general, because like I said, I've been naturally slim. I just wanted to fill out in my body more, and I am a tall girl. I am 5'10". Shout out to my tall girlies, okay? So just being very tall and very lanky, I definitely was not confident in myself growing up. I was definitely the very shy girl in class and just wanted to feel more confident in my own skin. I don't know if you guys remember Tiana Taylor's video. I spoke about this in my first intro video. Tiana Taylor was my inspo growing up. I know, she had the perfect body from that Fade video. That's really what got me going into my journey. She had the abs, she had the booty. Like, I wanted it all. Of course, I didn't know like height plays a big role when it comes to your fitness journey. She's like, what, 5'2", I believe, or something like that. So I'm here thinking like, I want to be just like her. I want to look just like her. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to get that same exact body. But we are not the same. Like I said, I am 5'10" and she is 5'2". So her frame works for her. My frame was gonna work for me, and that's what like I really had to realize as I got into my journey. You guys can have all these like influencers or people that inspire you and you want to look like them. That's great. You should have a goal in mind, right? However, just know that you won't look exactly like that person, and that's what I didn't click into my head, but I still kept it going, right? And here we are. So first thing we're going to talk about is nutrition. When it comes to weight gain, you have to eat. Like, plain and simple. I was never a person that struggled with food or eating. So I was like very slim. It was just part of my genetics. Like I was just always tiny. Even my mom growing up, she was tiny as well. Like, I never struggled with eating. Like, I am a foodie, okay? Your girl loves to eat. I thought I was eating enough for my body type. Turns out obviously that I wasn't, because I realized as I started I wasn't putting on the weight that I wanted to. So it wasn't until like I spoke with like other trainers and like did more research and really got into personal training where I realized that I need to eat a lot more because I am tall. 80% of my body is legs. You see, my whole body is legs. So it's a lot of food that your girl has to eat in order to put on some size. And I didn't realize that when I first started. So what I started to do is track my calories. Now, I will say this is the most important part when it comes to weight gain. Track your calories, y'all. You may think that you're eating enough, but you're most likely not, and that's why you're not seeing a change in your body. There's a lot of ways that you can track your calories and see your macros and what works for you. There is a TDE website that helps calculate what your maintenance calories are, and you can base it off that. It'll tell you like whether if you want to lose weight where you should be, if you want to maintain where you should be, and if you want to gain weight where you should be. And it tells you like how much carbs, proteins, and fats. That's what your macros are. It tells you how much of that you should be consuming into your body. I'll drop that link below. You guys can use that to calculate your calories. So it's good to start with that. And what I did from there is I will plug those numbers into MyFitnessPal. So if you guys are unfamiliar with MyFitnessPal, there's also a calorie nutrition tracking app. You could log in like your food diary on there. That's what I loved about the app. Like, it's very accessible. I kept my entire food log on there, and it helped tell me whether I'm hitting each goal. Tell you how much carbs you have left, how much protein you have left, and fats. And what I did, I followed those numbers to the T, okay? To make sure that I was hitting each of those numbers. Because I'm telling y'all, like, you just really, honestly, you just cannot skip this step at all. Fueling your body is so, so important, and you guys need to make sure that you are doing that. So yeah, I was always on a high protein, high carb diet. Right now I am consuming over 3,000 calories. Yes, 3,000. I am currently bulking, so I'm trying to put on even more weight right now, and then before I start to cut down a bit for the summertime, which is happening soon in 3 weeks, I will take y'all through that as well. So yeah, so right now I'm consuming 30% of protein, 40% of carbs, and 30% of fat. That's what my macros comes out to. And I know that for most of us, like, protein is the hardest to consume. Trust me, this is a journey, guys. Like, that's just one thing I want to say. This is a journey. Your results are not going to happen overnight. You're going to go through trials and errors. Like, there's going to be days where you don't even feel like eating up to your calorie count, and that is okay. That is okay. It's not like I was hitting my calories each and every day. And to this day, I still struggle with hitting my calories each and every day. Like, you're human. Like, you're not going to be perfect, and that is totally fine. However, you just want to try your best, right? To get as close as you can to those numbers. Right now, I'm consuming 190 grams of protein. What I've done is, like, meal prepping throughout the week is what really, really helps me calculate everything to see how much of each that I would need in each meal, like how much protein I would need, how much carbs, etc., to make sure that I'm hitting those numbers throughout the week. If you're someone that doesn't like to meal prep, I know some of us don't like to eat the same thing every day. Honestly, what I would say is get over it. You have to make certain sacrifices if you want to reach a certain goal, right? That's just really the reality of it. But if you're able to cook every day, then hey, obviously go for it. Me, I'm always on the go training clients. So like, I like to meal prep on Mondays or Sundays, whichever day that I'm more free, and just meal prep for the week. And then the weekend I'll do something else because I'm home more. So I'm able to like even cook when I need to, or I would just like meal prep again for the weekend. Meal prepping is honestly what has really got me to my goal today. If I was not meal prepping and if I wasn't tracking my calories, I'll probably still be the slim little gal that I was, which is fine, but that wasn't my goal, right? I wanted to put on more size, and that's what I did. So yeah, that's what I would say for nutrition, right? You want to calculate your calories, use the TDE app, use MyFitnessPal, and track everything. Make sure you're hitting your macros. Keep a food log diary, whether it's on MyFitnessPal or whichever you're more comfortable with. Meal prepping. Meal prep for the week. It'll make your life so much easier. Like, I just come home from work and I just pop it in the microwave or the air fryer, and that's it. Like, I don't have to worry about, in the morning taking out the chicken from the freezer and making sure that I have it out to thaw and then cook it at night. Like, when I get home, I'm tired. Like, I don't want to have to do any extra work. I already did my work for the day. Like, when I come home, I want to relax, right? So like, everything's already prepped for me. Just pop it in the microwave. It makes it so much easier, y'all. Like, definitely do those 3 things when it comes to nutrition, and it will help you gain that weight. All right, so now let's get into workouts. So when I first started my journey, I had no clue what to do in the gym. Absolutely no clue. Also, like, Instagram wasn't even really popping like that when I first started. I didn't really use it as a source to like see what workouts to do. I honestly can't even tell you what I was using, but I just ended up going to a gym with my friend. We went consistently and we found these trainers there at Planet Fitness, and they just helped us out. Like, hey, like, we told them that we're trying to get a butt, like, for our legs, like, this is what we're trying to do. So like, whatever they did, like, we just started to follow them, and that really helped me like get into like being more comfortable with exercise in general and weightlifting in a gym. I didn't follow a plan or a structure or anything like that. Actually, now, okay, it's coming back to me now. Y'all know Brittany Babe, right? She's obviously a famous fitness influencer if you don't know her. I did follow her plan one time because she did like one of those, she was doing a lot of challenges back then. So I did follow her plan, her weight gain plan, but it wasn't like, I'm pretty sure now it's she's like progressed, you know, in her brand and everything like that. So like it's probably a lot better now, but especially now that I'm a coach. Back then I wasn't a coach, so I didn't know anything about it, but it wasn't as helpful, I would say, when it comes to like progressive overload, which I'll talk about later, and like putting on more weights and stuff like that. Like it was just a workout plan, and I just did whatever in the workout plan. I didn't really see much change. However, I mean, I did start to see a lot more definition, but not necessarily muscle gain, which is what I wanted. Backstory, I did go to school for kinesiology, so studying the human body. So I did have a bit of a science background. I wanted to go into physical therapy at first, but honestly, I just wasn't with going back to school anymore, to be completely honest. So I started to fall in love with like this whole fitness journey. Like as I started to work out with those trainers, I started to see like a little bit of change in my body, and I was eating more. So I felt like this is something that I can do and try probably like make a business out of it. So I did end up getting a job at Equinox as a trainer. And with Equinox, they have like a whole education system. When you start off as like a tier 1 trainer, when you first enter, they put you through like basically different courses, which was really, really helpful. Like those courses really took me through like how you're supposed to be training your body and all this stuff. Like I went and got my certification, obviously learned a whole lot more. And that's why I'm here today as a fitness trainer. I first started out, and I did learn a lot from that whole process. So yeah, so what I did, what my workout split was, and honestly to this day it's still pretty much the same a little bit. I have a bit of a different focus now because my main focus was to put on more size in my lower body and my glutes. Right? Like that's what I really wanted to train. What my workout split came out to, it was 3 days of legs and 2 upper body days. I never had an issue with like weight training. My only fear when I first started out was the whole looking manly, right? That's what really got into my head a bit. Especially more so not just because of like lifting the weights. It was more so because of my genetics. I am African, I'm Nigerian. Honestly, like just Africans in general, we just tend to have more of a toned build, especially for my upper body. Like I've always been naturally toned in my upper body. I've always had like some kind of toned or definition in my arm. It's not like I was really doing anything to get there. It's just, that was just my genetics, right? Some people are just built like that. And that's another thing too. Like whoever you see on the internet, they could just be built like that. You don't know their full story. Having an African mother, right? If you don't know, they are very strict. So when I did start my journey, all I could hear was her in my ear, like, oh, you're going to look like a man. You're going to put on all this weight and muscle for what? You know, like she was in my ear, okay? Every single time I was going to the gym, she's like, oh yeah, you're putting on too much weight. There's too much muscle, da da da. So like having an African mother, like she really honestly messed with my head a bit, but like you just have to obviously block the noise. She didn't understand until later. She loves my body now, so we're good. That was like my only fear when I first started. So that's why it's another reason why I did more lower body, because I felt like I was naturally toned already in my upper body. But however, you still need to build strength in your upper body, right? And also we got to be proportionate. So it's not like you could just train legs and just forget about your upper body. Like you still got to do both, even if your lower body is your focus. So that was my workout split: 3 lower body days, 2 upper body days. So one day was more towards quads. Another day was like hamstrings and glutes. And then one day was just like strictly glutes. On both of my glute days, I did include hip thrusts on both of those days. So I was doing hip thrusts twice a week. And the reason why I was doing that is because my focus was really trying to build my glutes. And at that time, like I was following Brett Contreras, you know, the glute guy, the glute mastermind. He invented the hip thrust workout, and like that was my focus. Like I wanted to build my glutes. So if there's a specific area that you want to work on, you have to do it more than once a week, right? Otherwise it's just going to be a much slower process. So that's why I did have more of 2 glute days into my workout routine, and that really helped. That really helped change my glutes, just by adding those hip thrusts twice a week, and of course other exercises as well. Now let's talk about progressive overload. So when it comes to building muscle, you have to go through progressive overload, meaning you have to increase your weights gradually each week. The last 2 to 3 reps of each exercise should be challenging. If you're breezing throughout your workouts and your exercises and you're not feeling that struggle or challenge, then it's too light for you. Increase your weights, because what are we doing? You're just maintaining, basically. You're not really building anything. So what I did was I also kept, just like I kept like a food diary, I kept a workout diary. So I followed a program, and that's what you guys need to make sure you do, is follow a program. And if you don't know of a program, holla at your girl. I do sell programs on my website, as well as personalized and custom programs. So if you need that, I got you. You shouldn't be doing random workouts each day and each week, right? You need to be following a program. And I follow a program for at least 4 to 6 weeks. Yes, so every Monday I was doing my quad workout. Every Tuesday I was doing my shoulders and back, whichever workout. Every Wednesday I was doing my glute workout. I kept the structure, I kept the schedule for at least 4 to 6 weeks. And what I would do is try to increase my weights in those exercises each week. Now it's okay, some exercises you might not increase every week, and that's fine. It could still be challenging for you the next week, the last few reps, right? And that's totally fine. However, eventually you will increase at some point, right? So I kept a workout diary, tracked all my weights for my exercises, and I'll try to progress each week in those movements. And the reason why I say you should consistently follow a program for 4 to 6 weeks, because if you're doing random workouts every time, you're not really getting stronger in that specific movement, right? Especially when it comes to compound lifts, like your squat, your deadlift, your bench, whichever. Like, those are staple exercises that are in every routine. Even if you're done with that same program, you're going to continue doing it, right? You just might do it in a different kind of variation or a different style, but you're still doing that same type of compound lift. And you want to be strong in those movements, because those are just your standard movements that you do in everyday lifestyle. So, okay, so for my ladies, don't be afraid to lift them weights. Do not be afraid. Like, you need to lift your weights. You need to. You're not going to look manly. You're not going to look bulky. It's actually badass to see women lift some weights. Like, we are strong. We can do it even sometimes even better than the men out here, okay? Do not be afraid to lift those weights. Like, that is what's going to get you to your goal. And that's what got me here today. And to this day, I'm still lifting these weights. Like, this is a journey, y'all. Like, you're going to continue to do this for a lifetime. So yeah, when it comes to weight gain, those are the two main points: your nutrition and your training, right? So you have to be in a caloric surplus. You have to be eating a lot more, right? So that's what we call basically like a bulking phase. Like, you're putting on extra size, you're putting on extra weight, right? And then your training, like, you have to lift heavy weights consistently too. Now, when it comes to cardio, I was not doing a lot of cardio, and you shouldn't be doing a lot of cardio if you're trying to put on more weight and size. What I did is find like doing like 20 minutes of like Stairmaster or walking on a high incline after your workout, like 2 to 3 times a week. That's totally fine. Cardio is good for your heart and your health in general, and it will help you with endurance as well. So if you're a beginner, I do recommend still doing your cardio, and you're also burning calories from your workouts in general when you're lifting these weights. So you don't need to do an excessive amount of extra cardio. However, like the basics like walking or Stairmaster and stuff like that, that is totally fine, because that's just part of like everyday life. Like, I'm on my feet all day. I'm definitely getting 10K steps or even more each day. So that's why you also have to like eat a lot more, so that you're not burning too much throughout the day. So keep the cardio very minimal if you are going to do that. Right. I also want to say that everybody's body is different. Some people have longer limbs than others, like me. Like I said, 80% of my body is legs. Some people have smaller torsos. Some people have longer torsos, longer arms. Who knows? Everybody's body is different, so everybody's journey is going to be different. Your journey is going to look different than mine. It's not necessarily going to look the same. However, I'm giving you tips of how I got to where I am today. So don't want you guys to think that like you're going to look exactly like another person, because that's just not how this works. Give yourself grace, because you're going to go through a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of times I wanted to quit. There's a lot of times I was like, dang, I'm not seeing the results quick enough. What's going on? What am I doing wrong? There's a lot of factors that play into it. Sleep. I didn't touch on that yet. You gotta sleep. You gotta get enough rest, especially when you're lifting heavy and lifting these weights, trying to build your muscle. You have to give your muscles rest, and that's very important. Obviously, try to aim for 8 hours of sleep each night. I'm still working on that myself. Like I said, nothing's going to be perfect, especially if you're working out the next day. You want to give your body enough rest so you're able to fulfill your next workout. Like, without rest, that could lead to a lot of injuries, and we don't want that. Make sure you're giving your body the proper care that it needs when you're trying to go through a journey like this. Also, I'll give some other tips. Supplements I do use creatine. If you're unfamiliar with creatine, that also helps with building muscle. So I definitely recommend taking creatine if you want to include that into your regimen. I do include protein powders in my meals. So like for my meal prep, for my overnight oats, I would like put a scoop of protein powder. You can put protein powder in anything, literally. So that helps like increase my protein intake. If you feel like you are struggling with getting protein in. I do also take BCAAs and vitamins. Like, all of this stuff helps with your journey in general. So I'll link all of that below. You guys can use my code for that, Isoken, at checkout. That will give you a bit of a discount. So there's nothing wrong with taking supplements. I find them to be very helpful. Some people prefer not to, and that's totally fine. But if you feel like you need assistance in some things, supplements do work, and they are beneficial, especially if they're clean products. And yeah, that's it, guys. That is my journey. I am currently still bulking. I have 3 more weeks of bulking, and then I'll start to cut down a bit. Honestly, for me, again, like this is probably my genetics, like since I'm naturally slim, it's really easy for me to cut down. I don't spend too much time cutting because I also don't want to lose all of the gains that I just built, right? But I do want to like tone down a bit, especially when it comes to my stomach area. Oh yeah, and that's another thing. When you're going through this weight gain process, you're gaining weight, right? So you are going to be gaining fat, and that is something that you guys have to also be comfortable with and not worry about. It's okay, but you're eating in a caloric surplus, so you are going to be putting on more fat in the process. So your stomach is not going to be on flat. Just getting that out there. My stomach is not on flat right now because I am currently bulking still. I don't want to necessarily call them cheat meals. Like I like good food, right? But on the weekends, like I might order, you know, some Chinese. But like that's not an everyday thing. Like I'm still meal prepping throughout the week, but it's okay to have that cheat meal. Like I said, we are all human, and you don't have to be so hard on yourself. It is okay. Like this is a journey, like I said, right? Give yourself grace. So you have to be okay with being uncomfortable in this process. And that's what I had to learn throughout. Like when I started to put on my weight, I'm like, oh, but my stomach, I don't have my abs anymore. Like is this what I really want? But hey, look, my booty is growing though. In order for your booty to grow, you gotta eat. And then 1 to 2 meals is not gonna cut it. Like you gotta eat more than that if you're trying to build your butt. But just know that you will get those abs back when you start to cut down. So be nice to yourself, be kind, it is okay. My goal weight right now is to try to get to 180. It's a journey, y'all. This has actually probably been one of my hardest bulks because I did injure my knee recently, so like I haven't been able to go as heavy on some of my lifts when it comes to like more knee dominant movements. So I've been careful in that area. So it's been a bit of a slower process, but it's okay. Like I said, this is a journey. We are fine. So yeah, I'm gonna start cutting again in about 3 weeks. I do have a trip in May, and your girl needs to be, you know, snatched up for that. Okay, so that is what's next for me. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave some comments if you have any questions when it comes to weight gain or anything that I spoke about here in this video. And I will see you guys next week. Love y'all.